Do you want black-only dormitories? That is DEI. Do you want bonuses based on skin color? That is DEI. DEI is a Marxist program that's infiltrated. It is anti-white, institutionalized.
Hello, everybody. Guys, we got PBD and Charlie Kirk. You have to hear this insane argument against DEI. These guys are absolutely insane. Let's get right into it, and we'll talk about it.
It's not looking good for DEI. A bunch of people on Twitter are talking about DEI. Elon Musk talked about it. Oklahoma governor signs order effectively banning diversity programs as public colleges, okay?
Finally, somebody stepping up.
Yes, let me read this story
I got the biggest applause from the crowd.
Let's go.
Interesting.
Oklahoma Governor
Brandon.
Kevin Stitt signed an executive order effectively banning
By the way, this is from like maybe half a year ago. I forgot exactly when, but it got recommended to me on YouTube, and when I saw it, I was in awe. Just watch.
diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI programs at public colleges and agencies, prohibiting them from state funds or resources for DEI initiatives and ordering the dismissal of non-critical personnel. This order is effective immediately with compliance expected by May 31st of 2024. Charlie, what do you think about the story?
I think it's amazing. I think every red state governor should follow suit. Anybody in power should get rid of DEI immediately. DEI is a Marxist program that's infiltrated. It is anti-white, institutionalized, and Elon Musk is now one of the most anti-DEI.
Guys, hear what he is saying there. That DEI is anti-white. It's anti-white. These guys, this is what they're being told. That these jobs are literally being stripped away from them with no merit and giving it to people that don't deserve it. Guys, do you know how insane this argument is? We're going to get more into that in a second, but let's let him finish.
DEI spokespeople of the West, and praise God for Elon of doing that. He says DEI should be rearranged to DIE because it is saying it is dying. Look, Elon Musk calls diversity, equity, inclusion morally wrong. Propaganda words for racism, sexism. Changing the target class doesn't make it right. Good for you, Elon Musk. We need more people with wealth and with power and a platform to speak out against DEI. So I love that Governor Stitt is doing this. It shouldn't have taken this long. They call you a racist. Ignore them when they say that. Get rid of the DEI office. Go back to meritocracy. DEI is at odds with the
That meritocracy words right there, and he says ignore them when they call you racist. I'm sorry, but if a bunch of people are calling you racist, you probably shouldn't ignore it and maybe look into why they might be saying that. Have a little bit level 2 level of thinking, a little bit more critical thinking. This meritocracy crap. This country is probably the most capitalistic nation in the world. It's full on corporatism here. Do you guys really think out there, MAGA voters, centrist Republicans, that companies are willing to put unqualified people into positions of power or prominent positions like a doctor or a pilot and take the risk of reputational damage and just the company falling apart? They're just going to put this job, you need a PhD in engineering. They're just going to yank some dude who only has a high school degree to do the job. Like, these guys are absolute disgusting morons. And I call it racist because these guys are smart enough to know that's not what they're saying. It's very simple, guys out there. What DEI says is exactly meritocracy. It's exactly that the best person gets the job, right? When given 2 applicants, one is a black man, one is a white man. If all things are equal and they have equal qualification, equal skills, equal everything, and your company is 90% white, maybe put the person of color in. That's all it's saying. It's not giving positions to people who don't deserve it. And the only reason this initiative has to be put is because white Americans are overly represented in positions of power. Look at Congress. Look at the presidencies. Look at executive positions in this country, CEOs. Guys, I'm going to get further into statistics on this stuff. It's pretty insane once you start hearing about it.
Promise to the American Constitution. It's at odds. You cannot have a meritocracy and have DEI. So choose. Choose which way, America. Do you want a segregated society? Do you want Christmas parties like in Boston where white people are not allowed? That is DEI. Do you want black-only dormitories? That is DEI. Do you want bonuses based on skin color? That is DEI. Or do you want...
You hear this? When have you ever heard of anyone asking for segregation on the left for DEI? Or what? You get a higher bonus based on your skin color? MAGA voters out there, do you guys really believe that? Like, really understand that? Do you really think? And I'm sorry, we minorities don't want shit from you. We don't want to take anything from you. We don't want to be given anything. We are hardworking and prideful people. We don't need to take anything from you guys. This is just insane. Segregation? This is what they do. You call out racism, you're a racist. You try to fix things that are clearly racial injustices, you're being anti-white. These guys are horrible people, disgusting.
Work ethic and merit to be rewarded. That is what built this country. We have to get back to it. So right now we have to go on a non-stop deletion campaign and get rid of every single DEI office in America immediately.
Charlie, can I ask you a follow-up on that? Great point. So, you know, they say there's a difference between perception and reality. For the people that aren't really following what's going on with DEI or ESG, everything that's sort of, you know, in our world, for the average person, when they hear diversity, it's like, all right, cool, diversity, that's great.
Yeah.
Equity, yeah, we all want a piece of equity. Yeah, it's great.
Well, it's a different-
Inclusion.
Exactly. Inclusion, let's be included.
I want to be included.
So on the surface, like, you know, if you're a liberal college girl, like,
That's not the surface. That is what it is. And guys, for you guys to try to act like you don't understand this, like this country doesn't have a history of racism, from slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, not fully letting minorities, especially Black Americans, into the financial institutions, not being allowed to get lending, to open up businesses, to buy a house. If they go to sell a house, it sells for less because you can tell that a Black person owned it. Like, these guys are so disgusting. They act as if this is in a vacuum. Like, this country doesn't have a history of this. Racism doesn't exist to these guys in their head, which I believe is a lie. I think they all know it exists.
whatever, like most people aren't paying attention to policies. They're paying attention to personality and just basically optics. Where did people like give people the reality of what this is? Meaning the average person out there thinks it's great. Charlie, how racist of you to basically say DEI is bad.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
Well, I mean, first of all, understand what DEI actually is. It's Marxism by another name. It is race Marxism. It is trying to destroy what exists, strip it down, and put in a completely different type of society. It is race it's race preference. And so you have to ask somebody, do you think your skin color matters to your worth? It's one of the most important, simple, honest questions in America today. If yes, you're a bigot. I have no time for you. You should be like, no.
This is the guy that said if he saw a black person flying the plane that he was going to get on, he would be really, really questioning and would be worried because he'd think they would be a DI hire. Like, has it ever crossed these people's mind that the white people in power that you see in these positions that you're so used to seeing maybe didn't deserve it and they weren't there in their own merits, MAGA voters? Did you ever think that was a possibility?
Actually, your skin color doesn't matter that much. Of course, there's racial differences. They don't matter, actually, really at all. They don't matter about your character or your soul or your agency. Like, and by the way, how shallow. I mean, people are much deeper than how they look, like a lot deeper. And just to kind of put people back into sectarian tribes is regression. So what DEI does, it is retribalizing society into a new India-style caste system where you can never escape. No matter how much good you do, no matter how much you study, no matter how early you work, no matter how much you try to improve your life, you're trapped. You're in an open-air prison. DEI creates America into an open-air prison that if you're white, you can never escape it. You have to constantly apologize. You have to constantly go on a knee. And it's like, by the way, if you...
This is insane. When they have the overwhelming amount of wealth and power. Guys, did you know that... I have the statistics for this. I remembered it. 1 in 4 black Americans live in poverty. 1 in 6 Hispanics live in poverty. Do you know how many white people live in poverty? 1 in 13. Guys, and when it comes to wealth, for every dollar that white Americans got, guess how many black Americans have? 10 cents. They have 10% of the wealth. Please tell me, guys, use some logical thinking here. How do you think that happened? Black Americans have been here hundreds of years. Please tell me how that happens. How there's a 10 times amount difference in black Americans' wealth and white Americans' wealth. just meritocracy. You guys were just so smart and just so much better at everything, right? Does that make sense to you guys out there?
Want to live in that type of country, go to South Africa. Literally, that whole country is built on DEI and CRT. It's an entire country that is based on racial separation and revenge against whites. They have political rallies where they say, kill the Boer, kill the Boer. The whole country is built on racial resentment. What the revival that will come to this country, and PBD, you're doing a great job helping lead, and what we're doing here at America Fest and Turning Point USA, the revival will go back to a preference on meritocracy. Character, not skin color. Agency, not tribe. That is
That's exactly what DEI is. Stop judging minorities based off their skin color. And if they're qualified for the position, they should be just as much in the run for as anyone else. And the problem is, guys, that I don't even think that all these people who hire people in executive positions are making actual racist, on purpose hires or something like that. I think it's kind of, it gets tribal. You're just used to your people. Right, you grew up around white people your entire life. Then you went to the suburbs full of white people. Then you go work for this corporation that's full of white people. You just are used to it. And then they tend to hire more white people. It's not to say that all of them are racist. It's that some of this stuff is ingrained, foundational. It's things that happened from hundreds of years ago, 70 years ago. It's still, the embers of it is still in our society today.
always been what has made America different and exceptional.
Well said, Charlie. How much similarity, like when you hear BLM, Black Lives Matter, on the surface, it's like, yeah, of course they matter. But the reality was a Marxist organization that was basically trying to tear down the nuclear family.
Of course it is.
Is that basically the parallel to DEI?
And again, don't take my word for it. Look at Elon Musk. DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination, not replace it with a different discrimination. That's the world's wealthiest man. He's saying it because it's true. It's not like he has...
He's also a racist piece of shit. I'm sorry, and now he's working for probably the most racist, definitely modern politician that we've had in Donald Trump. I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck what Elon Musk says. He's worth $300 billion. I don't expect him to understand how any minority view of America really is, or their experience, the minority experience in this country. I don't expect any of you fools to understand it.
He has to go make more money or he's going to win favor or friends. And look, they took advantage of the best intentions of the American people. To your point, inclusion. Who wants to be non-inclusive?
Of course.
Right? Or diversity. Now, they never actually mean diversity because they want everyone to look different but think the same. They don't mean they don't believe in intellectual diversity or viewpoint diversity or religious diversity. They want just skin color diversity.
Bingo.
And they want ideal.
Really, religious diversity? You guys are the one trying to push Trump Christian Bibles into schools. Like, these people are so insane. And I'm sorry, these people who listen to this, they just don't have, it has to be, they just don't have critical thinking. They hear the first sentence they hear and it sounds good to them, boom, they agree. They just have no critical thinking to further look into what these idiots are saying. Take 5 minutes and sit, listen to this video for 5 minutes and really sit and think about the things I've said here. What I'm saying makes more sense, or what they're saying makes more sense?
Logical totalitarianism. That's the most important thing. So, look, DEI is against, DEI is a virus. And I'll say this, and people hate when I say it, but it's true. DEI is a much more dangerous virus to America than COVID ever was. And DEI is now lasting much longer than COVID. And the top priority...
Guys, COVID killed over 1 million people in this country. You see the visceral emotions this guy has against diversity, equity, and inclusion. Just listen to what this
of this conference and our podcast and all of us together is to unite our forces. If you're a libertarian, conservative, Democrat, I don't care. We must unite and kick the DEI virus out of America as quickly as possible.
And it took a South African made American, Elon Musk, to understand how it works there to basically call this out.
Tom.
No, amen to that. And you were asking, Adam, where do people see it? Well, people are seeing it when teachers, public school teachers, have to take a vow. And it's a vow, or they have to sign a document that adjusts their behavior at school. So people are seeing it come out and saying, wait a minute, why do I have to do this? I'm a 25-year teacher. Why do I have to take this vow against this and this and that? It's
guys, these teachers, that superintendent in Oklahoma, is leading prayers in class and trying to push the Bible. These guys live in cuckoo land. I don't.
Going up everywhere. Critical race theory, one of the first tenets is that the instant you're born, if you're born white or Asian, you, critical race theory, are inherently racist. And you haven't lived a moment of your life and had a rational thought. You just arrived here. You know, welcome to Earth, enjoy your stay. And so when you take a look at these tenets, they're
Guys, again, it's the exact opposite. Is that when we're born equal. You have to teach racism. Guys, and for those of you that have hate in your heart, that stuff is taught. You weren't born with that. If you hate minorities or have this negative view on them or think they're dumb or whatever it is, violent, that's taught.
absolutely ludicrous. And you can boil it down like this. Your dad goes into an emergency room. I don't care what color the doctor is. How many bypasses has he done, and can he save my dad's life? That's the only thing I care about. That's a meritocracy, and that's where it needs to go. And Charlie, God bless you for everything that Turning Point is trying to do to raise the awareness and be such a loud voice.
Thank you.
Exactly what Elon Musk says. Let's not take one discrimination, which is bad.
I'm sorry, I have to stop it there for that doctor example because I just thought about it. I'm sorry, but if I saw a black doctor, knowing the statistics, they have a tenth of the wealth that white Americans have. 1 in 4 of them live in poverty-ridden neighborhoods. If I saw a black doctor ready to operate on me, I would have more confidence in them than I would the white doctor because they had a much steeper hill to climb. Guys, am I insane for seeing it this way? Like, these guys are stuck on stupid. Like, they literally have one dimension level of thinking. They cannot think the next step, the next level, and the next.
And just replace it with another discrimination, which is far worse.
Yeah, I love that. You know, it's amazing. I never, the idea of somebody feeling sorry for you should be an unattractive idea.
Pity.
Like, you shouldn't like pity. Again,
That's such a good point.
this goes back to this book that was written many years ago.
All right, we're going to leave it there. This idiot is going to go peddle some more garbage to his viewers. But did you hear what he just said there at the end? The pity thing. This is the same thing he said to Roland Martin, that you play the victim. But then when Vivek told him that he was shocked at how many people wouldn't vote for him because he's Hindu or Indian, PBD was really, oh, really? Oh, wow. And gave him the benefit of the doubt. Roland Martin tells you the similar thing and gives you a statistic. You call it bullshit and tell him he plays a victim. Guys, if that's not racism, what the fuck do you call it? But anyways, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Please leave a comment down below. I try to read all of them. There's just so many coming in. We're close to 10,000 subscribers, guys, and I can't believe it. Thank you to all of you who subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one.